How you living, good people? Thank you for clicking play on another episode of Big Man, Tiny Kingdom. Here we are at the end of another calendar year, and for me, this marks the full first year of my podcast. As I wrap up season 1 of Big Man, Tiny Kingdom, I wanted to look back at what I shared with y'all throughout 2021, and also to take a look ahead at what's in store for 22. But let me start off with something that a listener sent me some feedback about, which I'm appreciative of any comments because I see that as a tool to only help me improve and provide those of you interested in hearing what I got to say with better quality content. So if you're listening and you want to fill me in with your 2 cents of any kind, I'm all for it. I'm someone that can take criticism as being constructive and hopefully can accommodate whatever positive or negative feedback I'm presented with, make the adjustments needed to gain more listens, more fans, and more love for the podcast. Well, this particular feedback that I received, I definitely can get down with. Here's what I was given. Now, the person didn't say I could share their name, so I'll be respectful of that and not mention who this came from. Hey, big man, I'm enjoying the podcast. You've talked about a couple spots I haven't been to, but they're on my bucket list. I think you do a good job of reviewing the campgrounds. Keep that up. It helps me, at least, with knowing some details about places I want to visit. I've listened to each of your episodes, and I like your format. Also like the length that you stick to. I'm figuring you did that on purpose because they're pretty firm at 10 to 12 minutes. What I didn't particularly understand at first is what your show is about. I'm used to podcasters having an introduction episode where they tell you who they are, what their show is about, and they usually give a description or outline at the beginning telling you what to expect to hear on the episode. You kind of just jump right in. However, once I got past expecting the traditional segments, I found myself liking how you dive right in, so don't change that. It's your unique style, and you make it work well enough to keep me engaged. I do think you may want to consider improving on how you title the episodes. Us humans are suckers for clickbait. It could help you gain more views from those not immediately interested in your show topics. But because you caught them with a fancy, maybe even dramatic catchphrase type of show title, they click on it, might stay and check out what you're talking about and decide to keep listening. That's how you got me hooked. And for the life of me, please tell me why you chose the name Big Man Tiny Kingdom. I love it. It's a catchy and pretty cool ass name, but you never mention what the hell it's about. Keep up the good work. I wish you all the success you're after. Hey, thank you so much for the words. Everything you said makes perfect sense, and you dissected me pretty good. I am going to definitely look into how I can work those things out that you mentioned. And you hit it spot on about my format. I purposely wanted to skip having the regular show intro. I know I incorporate music differently than what I've heard. I plan to keep that because I come from a music industry background. A long time ago, I had a live radio DJ show. So I still like to talk over the music. If you're familiar with how DJs do, that just comes with the culture. And I left out explaining what the podcast is about on purpose because I didn't want to put it in a labeled box or have a particular category that it would forever have to be known for. Who knows what's to come? I could start talking about sports or politics or relationships. However, all of the episodes so far have been about my outdoor activities. It's what I like to do with my free time, camping, hiking, the weekend warrior fun things I like to do away from home. So I'll be continuing to record episodes about that type of stuff. And coming up in the next season, I plan to expand the podcast into talking about my pursuit to purchase my first tiny living space, which is where some of the show title comes from. I guess that was a cool segue into answering the question about why I chose the name of the podcast and what it stands for. Big Man, Tiny Kingdom, it represents what I embody, my physical size, the lifestyle I live. It's a fun moniker that I like to use and a character trait that I'm fond of. The big man part is obvious if you know me or have seen a picture of me online. I'm a big guy, pushing 300 pounds. However, that is going to change. I'm promising myself that. And that's because I physically feel better when I weigh a little bit less. So I'm motivated to get myself closer to 250. Something about that weight range just works well with me. The tiny part comes from my minimalist attributes. About 5 years ago, I downsized my home because I didn't need all that square footage that I had. I only wanted it. I evaluated my spending habits and adjusted my monthly finances to function effectively off of less. I got rid of clothes and shoes and emptied out closets that were only being used to store stuff that I was keeping because I thought there was value in those things for me, but honestly, they were just taking up space. So I got rid of them. I donated them to hopefully provide things to others who could get some joy from stuff that I was just pack ratting. I prefer a minimalist lifestyle. I've fully embraced it, and I'll get more into that in season 2. Which leaves me with where using Kingdom comes from. I got that from my coworkers many years ago. I used to always wear this Burger King paper crown around the office while I was working, and I had really good performance numbers. So I would say to everyone that until someone could outshine me, this is my house. I'm the king of this castle. After months of crushing it, I won an award, and on the plaque, they listed my name as King Andre. I didn't ask them to do that. That's just something that they did for fun. I don't work there anymore, but anytime I catch up with one of my old coworkers, they still call me King to this day. So it's stuck with me, and I use the Kingdom reference at home as well. Fast forward to about 2015, when I decided that I wanted to start pursuing purchasing a house. I had this conversation with a friend about it who was a realtor, and I was asked what type of home I was looking for. Well, around that time, I was also starting to embrace minimalism. And I remember saying to my friend that I'm liking these park model size homes. I think I want one of those. My friend says, "What is your big ass gonna do in one of those tiny things?" I said, "I'm gonna make it work, and that a tiny kingdom is all this big man needs." Now, I haven't got my home yet. I opted to first fix my credit. I'm in a better financial situation today, and what I'm doing now is saving up my down payment, which that will be a topic I'll dig into next season as well. Let me switch gears. What I want to do now is replay some of my favorite clips of what went down in Big Man Tiny Kingdom Season 1. I got a chance to spend a few days in Morristown, Arizona. I spent a week in Payson for my birthday getaway. I drove about 4 hours northeast of Phoenix to St. John's, Waddell, Arizona, which is close to Phoenix, a little west outside of Glendale if you're familiar with the area. Just about 30 minutes away from me in the Apache Junction, Mesa area. First time camping in Tucson at the place that I'm going to call my new favorite outdoor eye candy, Lake Pleasant Regional Park. One of my favorite campgrounds in Arizona has to be Lost Dutchman State Park, Lyman Lake State Park, Catalina State Park, White Tank Mountain Regional Park. And while I was there, I tried something different than what I normally do. Usually I'm in a tent or an RV camping, but this time I stayed in a cabin at a place called Coles Ranch Lodge. I wanted to get out of the house, yet stay somewhat local, and it was just a short hour drive. I've been there several times for camping, sometimes just for hiking. Usually when I go, I'm there to do both. I want to chat with y'all about a couple of first times for me. First time camping in Tucson. It was also the first time that I rented an RV. Years back when I first got into camping a lot. And me and a lady friend were talking about what fears we had. And I shared about my bug fear. So the first night there is probably 8 or 9 o'clock. I'm watching TV, got the fire going. Off behind me to the right, I hear the leaves moving a little bit. The next noise I hear is like someone stepped on a tree branch and cracked it. I'm saying to myself, why in the hell would I bring myself out here messing with nature like this? You know damn well this is the moment right here why black folks don't be out in the woods. I'm Freddy, Jason, and Michael Myers scared right about now. There was a tarantula at the top wall near the bathroom door and another on the ground right in the way of the entrance. Supposedly, they're harmless to humans. You should see my face as I'm saying this. So I call myself trying to tiptoe around it. I guess I got too close and the damn thing jumped and looked like it was heading towards me. Guess what I did? I took off running the opposite direction. So to hell with the public bathrooms. Y'all spiders can have that. There are several things that I like to keep in mind every time I want to go out camping. Number 1, explore someplace new. Number 2, Take organized trips. Number 3, I always want to be at peace, be happy and healthy in the moment, be one with nature, and don't let anything or anyone steal my joy. Number 4, I like to share those great experiences with people I love. However, at the end of the day, I just want to enjoy myself. I'm content with doing things alone to achieve the level of happiness that I'm after, but I'm also grateful if I just so happen to get to hang out with someone else whose spirit is in sync with my own. Even if I regularly camped with someone, I probably would still try to find moments where I can spend a little bit of time to myself. And because I like the outdoors, I'm thinking of the various national parks and outdoor resorts that I plan on visiting and camping at when I stop driving for the day. I'm thinking about all the hiking and the bodies of water and the historical landmarks that I'll get to experience along the way. I'm ultra anxious about purchasing an RV. My hope is that I'm able to pull up to each one of my son's homes, pack everyone up, and we road trip to some camping destination. Sounds wonderful to me already. I believe the family will always remember those moments. And I believe that if I get it going right now and make it an annual activity that we all do together, the family will keep them going. My final thoughts, no matter your age, regardless of where you live, regardless of your skill set, and despite your fears and the excuses that we have all made about whatever the thing is that you've always said you want to do, but just haven't taken the leap to getting it done, get up, get out, and get you some. There you have it. That's a wrap for season 1 of the podcast. If I had to choose my favorite destination this year, it would have to be Lyman Lake State Park. Great location. Also the furthest campgrounds that I've driven to in Arizona. The campsites, the hiking, the lake, the ranger staff, the people I've encountered while there. Some of the best experiences that I've had while camping thus far have been at Lyman Lake. I've tent camped. I've lodged in their cabins. I've hanged out at the beach. Won't be disappointed if you visit that state park. I love making my annual visit there. Next time I go, I will definitely have to make some time to check out the Petrified Natural Forest, which is about 1.5 to 2 hours from there. I don't do the holidays, but I do hope that all of you out there have the best of time with your families during this season. My job is wonderful. They give us 2 weeks paid vacation at the end of December. You know what that means for me? Time to get out and explore the state as much as possible. Of course, I'll be camping. I'll also be doing some day trips to some Arizona parks I've never been, getting some hiking, bike riding, and just to explore the area. Also going to spend some of my vacay days and see some new movies. Looking forward to The Matrix. Whatever you got planned with your time off, I hope you have a fun-filled, drama-free, safe time. This episode is sponsored by Risha Dunbar. Thank you for being a hero to the podcast and contributing to helping it grow. Thanks for checking me out this year, good people. Peace and blessings. Also, best of health to all of y'all out there. Please be smart about where you decide to party out in these large public gatherings when you bring it in the new year. Until next season, dream big, live big. Don't do nothing unless you're going to do it real big. This is Big Man, Tiny Kingdom.